If you're looking at this watch in my hand and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's just another micro brand, you need to look again. You see, this watch is not just surface deep, and I really like what I've got in my hands because the founder, Mick Jorgensen, for those who know, he's a watch enthusiast who started on Instagram with his page Wrist Porn back in 2013. And about a year later, he started the website Watch Bandit. And they're basically the leading suppliers of micro brands in Europe. Now what Mick has decided to do, he's designed his own watch. And this thing here, like I said, it's not just surface deep. There's quite a bit of stuff going on in here, which I want to bring to your attention because I like what they've achieved. The quality, the purpose of each individual element, there's a reason behind it. I'll give you an example. If you look at the hour and minute hands, they pay homage to the Grand Seiko's legible, multifaceted handset. They're clean, they're sharp, and they're so easy to read. Even those subtly designed crown guards are a throwback to vintage Tudor Submariners. You've probably already noticed the bezel, it's a unique design. And that draws its inspiration from a watch that was originally distributed to the German underwater commandos. So this watch here has got quite a bit of stuff going and working in unison with each other, but it's all in the details. It's finished meticulously. It's got a Swiss movement, on-the-fly adjustment, a really well-made watch, and I want to share it here on the channel with you guys today. Let's check it out. Welcome back guys. The watch in hand is called Nordic Marine Instruments. The particular model I have in hand is their first model. It's Mick's first model and it's called Nordhavnen. I hope I pronounced that right. The name is derived from a Copenhagen harbour where Mick, his father and his brother used to fish and swim. And although the watch appears to be simple at first glance, there's a multitude of design elements going on here that offer significant value and design choice. They seem to work really well. And you really have to look at it a second or third time or even a fourth and you pick up things that you missed out on the first initial glance. Now the watch is not perfect and no watch is perfect, and I'll share the negatives of this watch and the positives. First and foremost, let's check out its specifications. Now I measure a case diameter of 40mm, a case height of 13.1mm, the lug to lug of 48 and a lug width of 20. The crown is a signed screw down crown. It's 6.3mm and it offers 200 meters of water resistance. And the total weight of this watch, sized to my 18cm wrist, comes in at exactly 161 grams. Now sitting on my 18cm wrist, as you can see, the watch sits fine. It's a 40mm. I actually measure the bezel at 39.9. The lug to lug distance coming in at 48mm, not a problem. And that height, the specifications actually say 12, but I measure 13.1mm exactly to the top of that sapphire crystal. It's been a good, comfortable experience, albeit there is a little bit of weight in this watch. Coming in at 161 grams, it's probably about 10 grams roughly more than I'm used to in this size watch. And I think that's got to do with the bracelet and the on-the-fly adjustment. And the bracelet's been comfortable, it's been a good experience. You can basically open it up and adjust throughout the day as the wrist expands. So quality wise, they've thought this through, they've created a nice little package. Now if we have a look at that bracelet, as you can see, it's female end links, soldered links, it falls straight down, you've got screw pins, fully milled clasp, and as we spoke about, you've got on the fly adjustability. So a decent package and really well finished. Now if we draw our attention to that bezel, you've already noticed it's a unique type of design. It's called the Bund type of bezel insert, and it's designed specifically to keep track of elapsed hours during underwater and military operations. So normally we'd move a bezel and we put it onto the actual minute hand and you can, 10-15 minutes underwater. With this particular one here, it's specifically designed, you could put it on the hour hand and you can see how many elapsed hours go past. 1, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours when you're doing a military exercise. So designed for a specific purpose, not bad. Now the insert itself is a black brushed ceramic and it's got an inverted lume triangle. And as you can see the action, 120 click unidirectional. There's hardly any back play, and the action is very crisp and very clean all the way through, and it lines up perfect. So a nicely finished bezel, a very nice profile as well, very reminiscent of a Skin Diver style case. Omega Seamaster Evolved, Seiko's first diver, very cool look. Now speaking of that case, the quality of polish and fine satin brushing, the transition between the two of them is razor sharp. It's beautiful, really well executed, especially at a watch of this price point, and I'll get into the prices of this watch. Now I believe the dial of this watch comes in 3 different colorways, a black, a white and a blue. I've got the black one here, as you can see, matte, beautiful detail. You've got a sub-dial register to 6, applied indices, super luminova everywhere, with the date complication at the 3. And the movement in this watch is a Sellita SW261-1. So basically 28,800 vibrations per hour, 31 joules, about 38 hours power reserve, and it features the 6 o'clock sub-dial. Now if we unscrew that crown, you get a healthy pop, 2 clicks, and we can adjust the time. Just there. A single click will allow us to adjust the date, 6th, 7th, nice, pops in beautifully. The hand winding experience is very nice, very good resistance from that Sellita. And the latch down experience, it's buttery smooth, it latches down first time, locks in, and you got 200 meters of water resistance. Now the lume of the watch is Swiss Super Luminova BGW9. The hands are good, the indices not as bright, but being a pre-production version, hopefully they get that right in the final product. Now I did mention at the start of the video that the watch has got pluses and minuses, positives and negatives. And one of the first negatives of this watch, the watch is actually going to be produced in limited numbers. I think about 99 units per colorway. So in saying that, if people want to grab this watch, you've only got 99 watches per colorway to do that. And that's a bit of a bummer, because once they sell out, they sell out. And what we find from experience, if a watch becomes popular, they usually go up in price. People will buy and sell this on the secondary market for more money. Because of the quality finish and componentry, the assembly, the watch is actually constructed beautifully. So if you're looking at spending money on a much more expensive brand name rather than a micro brand, well, here's an alternative. It's built really, really well. Second negative of the watch is the weight. Like I mentioned, this comes in at 161 grams. It's probably about 10 or 11 grams too heavy for a watch of this caliber, for a 40 mil. That's my experience on my wrist. It does become cumbersome, not a great deal, but 10, 11 grams over the period of a couple of days, you can feel it. And I've heard it said in the past, Pete, if a watch is too heavy, you're not strong enough. Well, maybe I need to get into the gym. Third negative is the lume, but like I mentioned, it's a pre-production version, so the lume, I didn't expect anything from this. It would have been great to have a full production version in my hand, then I can thoroughly test it, but it should light up like a torch. And the last negative is that clasp. A little bit bulky, a little bit chunky. It would have been nice to see a more refined on the fly adjustable clasp, but on my wrist it seems to have been doing a good job, so there's not really much to complain there. And that's pretty much it regarding the negatives. Everything else is subjective. Whether you like or don't like this watch, it's up to you, but I can tell you with surety it's finished beautifully. Now what are the positives of this watch? Well, again, excellent quality in all areas. Attention to detail. You can see this meticulous thought and design gone into this watch, and I like it when it's just not, let's slap a couple of bits together, call it a micro brand and put it out there. This is not what this is. I like what they've done here. There's vision from this founder, from Mick Jorgensen. This is his first watch, and I can see that he's wanting to prepare a lot more other types of watches. So this is his introduction watch, and if this is an intro watch, he's done really well, because it's been very hard to fault this watch apart from what I mentioned. As for the pricing structure of this watch, the recommended retail comes in at $12.99 USD, but the pre-orders are going to come in at $9.99, and they're going to have a coupon code. Put that code in and you can get this for $8.99 USD. So I wanted to share it on the channel because it is something different, something a little bit more unique, designed from the bottom up, which is great. The ethos on this watch is keeping the dial uncluttered, and I think they've done a very decent job. It's clean, it's legible, it's functional, it's toolish, and it's purposeful. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Let me know your thoughts, hit me up in the comments, and we'll see you all in the next video.